I want to talk about the Resident Evil 6, the um preview, what it was. Resident Evil 6, um, it came out from PS3, and then it's been a while. I kind of been waiting for Resident Evil to return its original form. Not like just like Resident Evil 7, where it returned its roots, survival horror of Resident Evil, and I've been waiting for Resident Evil 4 remake to come out, to bring back what it was. It's just that it's looking some examples from Resident Evil 6 that I know that has 3 campaigns of characters. It has all the characters. Why is it? Why, that's the question. Why did it have all its featurings, all the things added in the Resident Evil 6? Because it was with care. It was like from the originals that created the Resident Evil series. Resident Evil Code Veronica, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3. No, I mean the original Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 3, 2, Resident Evil 1 and 0. Resident Evil 5 also, but it wasn't created by the team that created the Resident Evil series, and it finally came back. There's a lot of things going on with Resident Evil 6. The Resident Evil 4 took some stuff, mechanics from Resident Evil 6. It's a good way for Resident Evil 4. They made Leon more like a kind of a realistic. No, not I'm going to say realistic, but the universe of Resident Evil. That's from the CGI series, and that's why. And the Resident Evil 6 has the zombies. It has a lot of things going on. Like from Resident Evil Death Island, that would have if Resident Evil Death Island the movie would have been a game. Oh, that would be like this similar, and that would be serious. It has a lot of things in there. It is close to the level of the Resident Evil this generation, where the zombies could bite you, could surprise you, and stuff. This has a lot of things on, and it has also the zombie hunter online multiplayer, where you become a zombie and you enter the campaign of the player, and they bite you. Yeah, it could be like even the creatures, the hunter lickers, or something like that, and the monster that could, like a monster lizard that could shoot acid from its mouth. Yeah, and that's why Resident Evil 6 was like the last game that is like very close to the original characters before the reboot, before the characters was missing, but it went straight to CGI. But and been watching the Resident Evil characters ever since, waiting, just like Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 combined with Resident Evil this generation and Resident Evil 6, where Leon is slow, not very slow. It's just they changed him from mercenary of his original form, where you have the power boost and he's super fast. That's the original Leon. It's just that he still is. If you look very closely of him when you change skins, with his like a suit with a hat and with a scarf, that's Leon from the original. That is Leon. He still is. It's just that they didn't enhance a lot, but it's good. And the Leon is fighting. He's And there's a Resident Degeneration. The zombies AI is difficult. They, they even have the demo available with the chainsaw mode. And like this is very hard, and they say it wasn't a great game or a great series. It was a great game. Maybe they didn't play No Hope. Maybe they didn't put like the difficulty and put the enable players coming in the campaign. This is very tough, and this is Resident 6. Resident 6 has like Chris, Jake, and Leon, and even these side characters is from like the early team of Leon. And I'm not sure if Leon team has been eliminated from Vendetta. Yeah, from Resident Vendetta. I'm not sure if he has been eliminated from Vendetta, and that's why his team was gone. Then perhaps it's Heineken. That team that he's in. This is a lot of action. There's like time event. This quick time event that was removed. If they had put quick time event, you will have seen more cutscenes and more like reaction. You will see more like it's like a movie type of thing. And they say it wasn't important. For me, it was important because it was like a movie. It was like a CGI thing. It was like the game that was in Revelation 0 and Revelation 2. And Leon is doing the quick time action button that was enabled. Was even in DLC Resident Evil 5 in Lost in Nightmare or Wesker, we had to do quick time event, but it was harder, you know. That was like a different high level, and you have to restart over again. It's like this, you know. No Hope. It's like this. The level No Hope is different, and it was a good level, and they brought it back in Resident Evil 4 because of Leon, and they brought back the original title screen, the original voiceover for the Resident Evil 4 and its original form. Resident Evil 4 or something, and that's why it went back. And Resident Evil 6, it's like the guy from Resident Evil 6. I still like Resident Evil 6 and Revelation 2. Both game great. It has a lot of great story and action, and there's like zombies, and Leon is doing. This is like similar to Death Island, you know. If it was like this, if Resident Evil 9 could be like similar to this, they just said will be action, but I don't know how well it would be will look. Cause this is like more polished, more caring. It was the characters, and there's like running, enable for players to run. That's right, they put the action button where you could hit the zombies. Yeah, well, because characters don't know how to. Leon, I see why he's like an action hero type of thing. That's why they finally show him. Like this is different timeline, different situation that Leon was in, and Chris, where the villain didn't know much. They do know much about Leon. Chris. It's just that not like went too serious until later on, and you see in the movie of Vendetta and Death Island, they finally went serious against them because how they always stop their game or their plan, and that's why Leon and Chris with the bugs got them, and then Chris was ready. He noticed what was going on. Leon was always about his mission, or not serious, and that's why look, this Ada, Jake, all, you know, like Resident Evil 8 would have been, you know. Resident Evil 8, I believe, would have all in, just like Resident Evil 6. It's just that I don't think some players didn't mention anything about what kind of like a wish list, but not serious. It never will all be put in, you know. It's just a talk and discussion. This is just a what if, and that, or like a pretend, that if it was in the game or in the series, in Resident Evil Village, they would have like Ada in it, and they would have Chris, separate campaign, maybe his Wolf Squad, maybe a flashback of Chris, why he left the BSA, would have been a good spot in it to have Chris Redfield, his BSA, why he left, how Lady Miranda killed off the BSA or his team, and they could show the part maybe from Vendetta where his team was still with him, that he was with, and on a mission to save Rebecca, and then took down Glen Arias. The only could have explained that part, and then kill them off, where how the villain Lady Miranda did. Somehow came out of nowhere, like what's her plan, or how she got part of this, how she, like an explaining, like how she got part of this, against Chris, you know, how she got into that part. And like that, like maybe because of Spencer, or maybe because Chris, or maybe Chris met them in a different mission or some way, or she decided to come in now because they've been interfering, or Chris meet one of the lackeys of Lady Miranda, and that's why she transformed and killed off all his team from the Vendetta timeline. But what it was, and Chris has aged from Death Island. Vendetta, he was a bit younger, and the graphics was a bit enhanced, was more enhanced than Death Island. And perhaps it was more caring. It was more like more details of the character face, the characters, expression, and performance, some type of way. I'm not sure much. And that's why Vendetta was held by like from the creators that created Resident Evil, and that's what. That's why Vendetta was good. It's my favorite movie all time, along with Death Island, because I like this type of situation. I'm not kind of the few fans or such that enjoy the action, balance, horror, or type of way. I'm not like not. They could choose whether or not Chris wants to not be my. That's not my Chris from the Resident Evil 7 DLC. That would have just wouldn't have infected the series for me. I just didn't, because it's their series, but somehow the fans are kind of like interrupt, and somehow Chris turned back to what he was in Resident Evil 6, like serious again. You know why is that? Because the story went serious and it is good. And that's why they noticed, and they went back to like the original Resident Evil story, like horror, more horror, you know, more like scariness. Like I see how the zombies was in Death Island. They read the movement of Chris Redfield and Claire, and they were dodging their bullets. I don't think no one explained that. They were dodging their bullets, and they were getting them. Yeah, they have improved the zombies, where they turn zombies, because the fly, they couldn't see it. Chris, it's just that the villain wasn't focused, and that's why they gave him a glimpse how he got them to become zombies. And because this villain knew Chris Redfield and Leon, how they face the zombies and win always, and always their mission success rate 100%. And that's why they noticed and put them down. They took their data from and they showed their data. There was another unknown founder members or stars or BSA or former FBC or something from the series of Revelation. They would have taken them down, you know, Parker, maybe the nerd from Revelation, um, yeah, they would have taken them down, but they didn't went far, you know. They were trying to take disappoint. They took down Pierce. I think that's why it's like Chris knew what was going on. Like this is the reason why it will be his last game. Why? Why is his last game? Maybe he's an important character, you know. Maybe they're starting to notice of Chris, how he read what's going on, some type of way, and now they're gonna start taking down Chris Redfield. But he's still alive, they say, in 16 years. With Rose, so that means he'll still be alive, but we're not sure what's going to happen to him. The characters of Resident Evil hasn't got killed off for a very long time. In the situation, they were close to get killed off. We don't know if there will be another character that survived, or friends with Glenn Arias, or Lady Miranda, or the same like their abilities and or the connections, or anything that could get them on a level. Because they're saying that I don't agree with the reviews of like they didn't give the character a chance. They did, you know, they give them a chance, and it's like foreshadowing explanation. It's like a book report. You read the story or read the movie, and you talk about it. You talk about the story, about what's going on, and that's it. That's what it is for me with the character of Death Island, the villain. How Chris was finding a way, how he always escaped. You could try to guess what's going to happen the next one. It's his last game. That could happen that Chris could get killed off, or give him a choice similar to the villain, where who will live, you know? Like how they did give him a choice of Jill. But I think the reason why Jill didn't make a choice in that situation in the story where it was all up to her, and the villain was like so smart, you know, before he started to explain and then made his mistake, and that's how they won, you know. But they did give him a chance, you know. The Maria Gomez was like a very powerful character from Vandella that survived, you know, that survived, and I wanted her story to continue for the like DLC, but it didn't turn out. But she was like superhuman, and they were like good partners, the villain and Maria Gomez, and they have a chance to get rid of the characters. And the reason why Jill wasn't making a choice, because I think the reason why, because it wasn't a game, the player didn't give the choices. The player didn't become Jill, so it could get a chance to choose who will live and who will get killed off. But that's why it became a movie, and the characters now is on their own, their point of view of the universe. The universe, and then and that's why they kill off the that created the spider, the flies, and that's why Claire survived. But Claire is able to move around. Chris is already somehow again maybe there's like a difference between each one infectedly slowly down becoming a zombie, and Chris and Claire was able to move. Leon can't move one bit. To move his hands barely, throwing the flash grenade to let Jill escape. Chris was already just sitting there. He just can't move one bit. Chris is pretty much I think there's the difference between the level, how So I don't see any player explaining that or that um, there's a different part of them slowly becoming zombies. But the one that's becoming very close was Chris and Leon. Leon also, but Leon is able to move a bit with his hand, throwing a flash grenade so that Jill is escape and find some help, and met with Rebecca, and then Rebecca went over there to save them, but because Chris saved them, because that's the reason why it said that it was his last game. Oh, rumors, but I'm not sure 100% if it's his last game. It's not confirmed. This is just a discussion, and that Chris, that's why he was like a big thing for them. Because Chris because he's part of BSA, and that's why they decided to give him that type of high level of becoming a zombie. And Chris, like that would have been. That's what my direction. What I saw the movie. And I could tell Chris wasn't moving on a lot. He could talk barely. It's just that he knew that Rebecca was coming. Cause I think he knew what was going on. Chris Redfield, he knew that what they were, because he was part of Blue Umbrella. He was with them. No, that's in the beginning. Later on. Like, and I noticed from Pierce, that's why they took out Pierce. Chris knew what's going on, and that's why like later on he became part of like Blue Umbrella. I don't know much about the Resident Evil Outbreak characters that survived from the canon or non-canon from Resident Evil Outbreak, from that became like, you heard her voice. And Chris was part of the team on DLC with Ethan Winters, so we don't know what happened that next. Chris probably left Blue Umbrella, but I'm not sure if it's true. But I think he did. Resident Evil Village, I think he really did left. I don't know if he did left Blue Umbrella, but I think he did. We don't know in that story, you know, didn't explain more details about that. What he was with Blue Umbrella, and later on he left, and he took Ethan Winter on his own with Myra, or Ethan Winter, and then he took Ethan Winter and then have him by himself, and then Chris has to come back because Lady Miranda was there. And then that's why Chris took them down. He already left the BSA after that. So it was like back and forth that Chris is traveling non-stop, and he has not taken a break. And that's why when Rebecca said in Vendetta that though Chris has returned, pretty much he did return, he returned his form. And that's why he's like kind of thinking ahead, like Blue Umbrella, what he was doing, and then Chris Redfield pretty much like went back because of Lady Miranda, and then how she survived the main villain, Immortal, and then have Ethan Winter somehow, because he changed his ways. The day would have been different, you know? Why is it that Resident Evil Village changed, Why did it change? There's a reason. Chris Redfield could have died in that Resident Evil Village, he would have get killed by Ethan Winter if he wasn't a good guy and he didn't betray Lady Miranda. Because maybe Lady Miranda would have helped Ethan Winter and would have taken down Chris Redfield, but no. And there is not like a DLC with the upcoming Resident Evil Village that Chris Redfield and his team of Lone Wolf Squad go in there and see what's going on. Which characters has betrayed Chris Redfield? Why Chris is going there? To stop them because like they're like kind of now on Chris Redfield, you know. But Village was like further ahead than Death Island, the timeline, and because they had a chance to take down Chris Redfield and Death Island. That's why Chris wasn't able to move, you know. Always his missions, why he always lost his team. Yeah. And that's why in Resident Evil Village, no, Death Island, it shows that Chris was a bigger than the main characters like Leon, Claire, and Jill combined. Jill, he gave him a choice, and Chris was already at the situation that he was already not moving. He's just talking barely as it almost turned to a zombie. Rebecca Chambers came to help them in the movie of Death Island, in the universe of Resident Evil, and that's why he survived. And I like I say, I prefer Vendetta graphics because it's more caring. It's just like in Resident Evil 6. Which one take over Resident Evil? You know, that type of situation. Which one take over Resident Evil? And it depends on like how you receive or the story or how it will turn out to be. Like that's why Resident Evil 6 is also good. You know how it looks similar to Code Veronica, and they take that direction from Resident Evil Code Veronica and put it into Resident Evil Vendetta. I like that. You know, and then but they did like that type of situation. They did show action, but like they did the exact same as like Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, not too much action. Like that, or maybe it wasn't like explained or like wanted to see action. Like right before it was rebooted, or I didn't say it wasn't important the CGI. Like they did change, but the story didn't affect the Resident Evil series. That's the good part, you know. That's a good direction. That's a good sign because the CGI didn't got rebooted, didn't change the story. Maybe Village because it's beta, you know. And like some people want to see the story of Resident Evil, what happened, and that's why the Resident Evil CGI series came, and I got to see the Chris Redfield as his original form, and from Vendetta, and his how he was still young. They didn't skip a lot of time on Vendetta. They would have, because I see how the main characters like aging quickly or some type of way, and that's why they put the reboot. You know, that's why the reboot came. They could have put a chance to not skip the characters a lot. You know, I see why they skip some parts to save it. You know, I see why they saved the good part, like similar to like Vendetta, Glen Arias, the name of Glen Arias, and Death Island 2, the Maria Gomez survived and friends with Glen Arias, that is like the former like Umbrella, you know, mercenaries, but they're Umbrella, you know, and and became friends, and they say he's friends with Glen Arias. No, that's those important timeline, you know. They could have shown them. Then, like, they could show Operation Javier from Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, Umbrella Chronicles, with Krauser and Leon, and they could show the part. There's zombies in Operation Javier. They could have a chance to put that in Resident Evil 4 as a future DLC to play and be playable. that would make sense, you know. And could still zombies, could still continue the hype train, you know, of them. Leon, you could see Leon. Gaiden is still, if it's either confirmed as canon of the Resident series, if in Gaiden, if Leon really did got killed off or not, and the guidance of Resident Evil 4, no Resident Evil, the timeline, and then and we're not sure will be for Resident Evil 9. Like, if this was like how Resident Evil 6, you know, this is not like a prediction, this is just a discussion, you know. Like, it's how Resident Evil 6 is, you know. And they say they could bring back like kind of like the characters last time, because it's different, you know. There's a different spin-off. That's why they start doing that now, and that's good, you know. It could show continue like Resident Operation Javier from DLC, and then something else could come out like Code Veronica or Resident Evil 0 or Resident Evil 1 remake, or Resident Evil Generation continue with Resident Evil 4, or it's different. I'm not sure much with the series, what the direction will be. Which one will come out, I'm not sure. This is just a few things that I'm talking about the this generation would be a good thing to be, because the zombies, how Resident Evil 4 was, the remake could do that and put in this generation. And like Chris Redfield, his last game, there'll probably not be much. We will not get to see more of Chris Redfield anymore. Or maybe we will see him. We're not sure. We will probably see him, his voice maybe, or maybe we'll see him in some parts. Or we're not sure, you know. Because Resident Evil Village, it will have been different, you know. Resident Evil Village will have been like similar to Glen Area's story style, or some type of way of having Chris Redfield becoming a werewolf. That was the thing, but it didn't turn out to be. It's possible, you know. There's a lot of things that I went to see, like Code Veronica. I mentioned that Steve will be revived, and some others that could be also be revived, because they could do that, but I'm not sure much how it will work. How it's possible, because Ethan Winter, how he was, and his powers and such, and then how he was able to take down Lady Miranda, because she was powerful, and it would have killed off Chris Redfield. Chris probably would have got killed off, you know. We don't know if Leon could have taken down Lady Miranda, and because he tries to revive, but Rose stopped her somehow. Rose stopped Lady Miranda, and I don't know if she would turn bad, because she said that she's like some reincarnation or something, and that any moment she could be controlled, like how similar to Alex Wesker, like had a chance to take down like Alex Wesker was also similar to Glen Areas some type of way. Then Wesker was different. Wesker was like he was similar, you know. Wesker was like the like some example. Wesker has so many chances to take down the STARS members, Chris Redfield, but always letting him go. And that's why Chris Redfield explained in Resident Evil 5 that that's why he always made mistakes or whatever, some way, and survive. And that's why like Alex Wesker would have taken down Claire Redfield, but it didn't. It went a different direction, and we hadn't seen that story continue, or Revelation 2, where Alex Wesker put his mind to Natalia, and we're not sure. We're not sure how it will be in the Resident Evil series, and we're not sure what will happen with the Resident 9. Resident Village had so much chances with its series, with its zombies, with its characters. Revelation 3, like what will be, what direction will be, will how Alex Wesco will wake up, what time will take place. Like how they would survive the characters of Resident Evil. I really did like the Death Island more. Like it give balance to Leon. Like I know Leon is a popular character. It is good, you know. I like to see Leon, and they changed Leon look. You know, look at the difference between the Vendetta graphics. Vendetta was carrying. It was like more. I see why he went that same direction. You know, that graphics change with Infinite Darkness. I see why they did that. Vendetta was a different else. It was special because it was like in theaters. It was like focusing on the fans kind of type of way. But if you had the chance to watch it, it was like a one-time deal. It was special, you know. But we're not sure why it's not like a month. It's different, but I'm not sure, you know. It's pretty rare, you know. It's like similar to like Resident Evil. Code Veronica was released on its own and such, and that was good that it came out and from Vendetta, and that's why it was special, you know. It was different. Chris Redfield like doing action, fighting. Pierce's already got cut off, you know. Chris wasn't like goofy, you know. It wasn't like how it is from Resident Evil 5, where he punched the boulder or the rock, punching the rock, you know. And this one, this is different. This is like close to CGI, you know. Just preparing to go to the CGI. It wasn't the first movie that Resident Evil did, you know. The other one was just about mercenaries, what had happened to them when they went to Raccoon City. That was a different movie, a different CGI. It was just about side characters, you know. I see why they want to go to side characters more than the main characters. Doesn't mean that they don't have any direction for them. They do. It's just a special moment when it comes, but I'm not sure much. And that's why it was good, you know. They kept preparing. There's some clues hidden. I'm not sure if there's clues hidden from Resident Evil 6. How Vendetta was got. The word Vendetta, like from Pierce Nevins, from talking to Chris Redfield on the cutscenes in the ending, talking to him, what happened to the legendary Chris Redfield, what happened to him. It's a good thing Finn wasn't around to see it, and that's how the word Vendetta was made. Infinite Darkness was just a different else, but like it's always go different, you know, and I don't get it right. It's just that like Death Island was. It was different, you know. Jill kept her look, you know. Resident Evil 5 was a lot different, you know. Resident Evil 5 was like more a movie look than how Resident Evil 6 was. It was like more like a realistic movies. Like Jill was different, you know. They kept Jill different direction um from Death Island. It was good. She's the only. I'm not sure she's the only one that's low aging. This kind of super agility and super agility and Chris, like how Claire, Rebecca is. How they gonna use those three characters? Rebecca's no. Rebecca is a side character, and this Terry Sage that Claire is in. I'm not sure how long before she starts being side character or not focus much to them. And I don't know much about the with Jill Valentine. No one knows, you know, no one knows about Resident Evil 9. No one knows what happened. No one knows about Jake Mueller. No, Jake Mueller will not turn bad. Even so, they were trying to guess, trying to make some video about Jill, about Jake Mueller turning bad. No one knows. Even so, they say a word. They're trying to get clues, you know, that I noticed. That's why I noticed. They're trying to get clues, like, if someone paid Jake Mueller, he would have become a bad guy. But you don't know about the Resident Evil series. You know, no one is like an expert of the canon, you know, the canon of Resident Evil series. And so they're trying to make a clip and trying to make a, if they got the style, or if they think they know about the Resident Evil of Jake Mueller, you know, Chris is still alive in 16 years. You don't know if Rose will, you know, you don't know if Chris will get killed off by Jake Mueller because he's like superhuman. Because perhaps he has like super strength or slow aging or will turn bad. Oh, we don't know much, you know, right now. Right now it's like the proper correct way of the series going, because how it is, like get Chris Redfield, take down Glenn Arias, they coming after Chris, you know. That's why it's secret, you know. There's a reason. And also there's another one also I know in Village, the Resident Evil 4 remake. Even so it did some part with the Resident Evil and like part of the influence with the Resident Evil series, and they're not part of it, and their name is not showing on in the ending credit. They're still part of it, you know. Even so, you know, even so they think it's over, you know. But they're still part of it because they could contact the original creators of Resident Evil and see how it goes, you know. That's why like Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 7 didn't take part, but it is, you know, but not have their names in the ending. You know, that's why the CGI, it took like 3 series they did the Resident Evil CGI, and then the creator of Resident Evil left. They're still there. Just that they don't want to. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know much of the Resident Evil endings or how it was back in the day where it shows the names or such. I'm not know much, but that's how it is for me. And, you know, with care and such, and that's why Resident Evil CGI came out, Death Island, and they say it wasn't important or they didn't care if they kind of listened or not, or some type of way, and they did. They did listen with the Vendetta and they like, you know, Vendetta would have been finished, you know, but not. You know, it was good, you know, it was very good, and I don't think no one explained that Mara Gomez was a good thing it was good because the movie was still continuous to the sequel. You know how it is in the Resident Evil such, some villain, they could skip it, you know? Just like in Revelation 2, they skip it and it didn't come back. Maybe no one explained this. And then what's the next direction, or what trying to guess? Or if you know the Resident Evil series as such, you kind of could guess it. Like the Revelation 2, Natalia, how Alex Wesker will be alive. How will she be awoken from the mind? She awoken, but how will Barry will get killed off? In that story, you know? It's been a long time then having that continue. That's the thing that I think no one explained this. That's why I want to put this in this video, that to be the first, that it takes long and they could skip the villain. They could skip it, and you know, they could skip it, and that they will not show what happened to that sequel, or will there be a sequel. And that's why like Mara Gomez survived, and that was a good thing that it came to the movies, you know. Then just in the streaming service was just a thing. I don't know much about what could be put in. I don't know much, but the Infinite Darkness came. It came by a different timeline, different part, and not Chris Redfield. Chris Redfield wasn't, just Leon and Claire, and shows Ashley Grammer, what had happened to them. Could I show more of that than skipping, you know? Cause that's like a good part in that part. Like how Revelation series had a chance to explain the timeline of the story of the Resident Evil characters, but it didn't continue and it took long, you know. And just like in Infinite Darkness, I had a chance to. They'll call it different, I'm sure, but I'm not knowing they renewed it. They will have a chance to continue with it, where they're not going to age Leon so quick. Maybe it could show parts early of their age, you know. Maybe I'm not sure if they want to go like serious and trying to like put the timeline together so that they can catch up to the original. But no, I think they just did that just to show parts of the timeline of Leon and Claire, and to meet up, and then how they decided not to be partners anymore because Leon decided to do this on his own, and that's why they left and they stopped the duel, like Batman and Robin, like that. Like how Robin tell Batman doesn't want to be Robin anymore, like that. And Leon decided to do this on his own, and that's why they left it. And Claire is on his own, and didn't show more villains, you know. They didn't show the timeline of how Alex Wesker will appear. But in Death Island, they did the sequel. They show Mara Gomez. They show what happened. It was good, you know. She survived, you know. It was good. Then just skip her and never come back to it. And they did, you know, because it was in the movie, and that's why, you know, they finished it for a reason, you know. They finished it, and it was good, you know. In the movie, the zombies, the character of Jill, and then not like how like some criticizing of the series, or trying to change how Resident Evil was, you know. Jill is a superhuman, you know. And Resident Evil 3 is like that, you know. It shows. I think they'd show Resident Evil 3 remake just to explain to the player. If they know the series, I think that's why they decided to give them some like some lesson, like a story about Nemesis, like the Los Plagas. That's why they did that, you know. That's why they tell them then this timeline of the characters, you know. And that's why if Jill, we're not sure which character will get killed off. They hadn't, you know, they hadn't killed them off. Barry, how Barry was able to move around and from against Alex Wesker, the clone. how she move around, how Barry move quickly, like action stuff. Like in Gaiden, I thought I got the connection through Gaiden because he's still part of BSAA during that time. Oh, we're not sure much about that story with Gaiden, or is canon or not, because it does look like the jacket of Leon, you know, it does look like close to Gaiden Leon, and they decided to come after Leon too, you know, because Leon always knows how to do fancy footwork and knows how to escape. They could do that, you know, they could put like a smart tyrant that they did of Gaiden. The game of Gaiden, it exists, Resident Evil Gaiden, and that's why Leon got took down when Barry came in. And that part, I was trying to find things like if Barry is still in the BSA, or this is a different timeline, or this doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist anymore, or the timeline, or what direction it is. Is it canon? Is it that Leon got killed off and then he was unconscious and then Barry got sent? Is Barry, because in that part I'm trying to find more of the dialogue. If Barry was still part of the BSA in that timeline, because he got killed off, Leon. So I'm not sure if Barry, that doesn't fit with the Revelation timeline, you know, because Barry already gave up being part of the BSA. So we're not sure which one is canon, you know, it's just a made up thing. And Leon got killed off. Chris hasn't, you know. I think Chris is a lot smarter than Leon. You know, there's a difference between them. Even so, Leon is more popular and more spotlight for Leon. Like Chris is for me like a big thing. I wanted to see more Chris Redfield, and that's why he came back in Vendetta. Oh, just wait so long, and that's good, you know. Leon, there's a difference between Leon and Chris. You know, Chris is back, you know. He did shows his part. Why is it? Why did Chris decide to return to his original form, his original self, than how Leon is? Doesn't mean that Leon is already getting, like, the players or such think that Leon is copying like Chris Redfield was, or Depression or something like that. But no, Leon is pretty much is the same. It's affecting him too, but not like the same as Chris Redfield, you know. He's still focusing on a mission. He still survived. He just like keep crying about getting a vacation. But you see how Leon's mission is. You see how he completed his part of his mission, always messing up and always getting saved by. And that's why Chris told Jill that there will be a time, you know, just like in Vendetta, the quote, there will be a time to think of a decision. You know, kill them or be killed or something. I'm not sure much of the Vendetta, the movie. If you type it, it's a Resident Vendetta, and you watch the movie, there will be like that. It will say that. Chris does say that. That's why it's kind of my favorite movie. It's very good, and that's why Chris told Jill to stay low, you know, to stay away about the parts, because Chris already noticed, you know, he already lost Pierce. He already told Jill that you're not ready, you know. Chris is now becoming like the captain, you know. Even so, if they're not like teams, but it does look like it, because Chris is like the captain. He's more experienced, and that's why he knows a lot, you know. And that's why Chris they're coming after Chris Redfield now than just Leon, you know. Leon too, they know they got their data, you know. Even so, I'm not sure if they stop it, but you know, they already got their data, you know. You know which one took it, and it could be a big name that could easily take down Chris or Leon, you know? That's why in Gaiden, it shows that. It shows they could transform, you know, then just like in some game timeline, Resident Evil 9 and such, but they want to see spin-off, you know? Like that's how, like in the PlayStation 2 or 1, where they show Code Veronica, you know, Resident Evil 3, and then they show a spin-off, you know, Code Veronica. That's why they use that and put that in Infinite Darkness and Resident Evil Vendetta and Death Island. They did that, and that's why in Gaiden, Leon is on his mission. He didn't tell Chris. I don't know why Chris Redfield didn't tell Leon. Leon did tell Chris Redfield, but Leon didn't tell Chris in Vendetta, like that he did tell him that how long we're gonna do this. Like how long they're gonna do this in Resident Evil, and Chris Redfield was like, Chris didn't think ahead. He never knew that question, you know? He did know, you know? He tried to give it to Pierce Nevins, you know, when Pierce is the one that got Chris' head, get his head together and get out from that depression mode. And then Chris started to notice everything, you know? He's starting to be back how he was, you know? That's the reason why Chris Redfield was the one that took down Wesker. But Wesker always could survive, you know? Like Wesker always could survive, you know? It's just that Chris wasn't good with how Rose was. And that's why Rose, like how Lady Miranda was similar to Wesker, you know? Maybe Chris wasn't like that preparing. Like he was prepared, you know? He knew how to take down Lady Miranda, you know? Because Ethan went to help him, you know? Give him the chance to find the weak spot and take down Lady Miranda, you know? And Ethan went to sacrifice himself so that Chris Redfield could live, you know? That's why protecting Rose, you know? But Chris wasn't very prepared, you know? Because Lady Miranda survived, you know, but she wasn't part of the umbrella, you know. But she did now. She took part of it, you know. Took part of it. You know, it would have been and then it would have been different, you know, if Lady Miranda helped them, helped Spencer, and it become like the bird trees and such, and just know more about Chris and them. But no, you know, she would have got their data or information from them and would have defeat them, you know. But they went in a different direction, you know, and have other villains finally got their data and give it to their like buddies and know how to defeat Chris Redfield, Lady Miranda, Pierce, and Leon and Claire. Rebecca, they weren't too focusing on them. They were trying to take down Rebecca twice, but they fell misery because Chris saved Rebecca. This is the two times, you know, and it didn't show that. Didn't show a spin-off. It just showed a live concert singing type of thing. But it did show the original canon, you know. Chris saved him twice, you know. Without Pierce, Chris wouldn't have doing what he's doing of his original form, and that's why Chris right now noticed, and he told, I don't think no one explained this, you know. That's why I'll go repeat this, that in from Death Island, they think I didn't see the movie, you know. Chris just told, I have to, like, I went there, the movie theater, because it wasn't released in the US, went to Mexico to watch the movie of Death Island and see the movie. Why didn't it was released in the US for a one-time deal or that situation? But it was different, you know, and that's why, you know. And so I'm gonna say it that Chris told Jill that It's like just like in Vendetta. They didn't change his performance. They didn't change how he was. He's still the same Chris. It's just that giving the spotlight just to Leon and them, just for them the spotlight, But Chris, I wanted to see, and that's why Chris Redfield got the spotlight in Vendetta, And Leon also, is okay with both of them. But I want to see Chris more, That's why Chris did fought against Glenn Arias. Leon did have a struggle, and that's why, like he told Jill, there will be a time that when they're on, they will not make it or such. And it's like just like in Vendetta quote where Chris said, you have friends or buddies, whatever, there'll be a time of a decision that you have to make. What I said earlier, be kill or something like that. From the quote on Vendetta, Resident Vendetta, you type it, it's in there, the movie. That's what Chris was. He'd say it again with his wisdom, giving some few tips to Jill. Leon didn't got wisdoms of like a tip, like a talk or something to Leon about what will happen. Leon, I think in his character, he has egos, how they say they have egos and they have to work together, because they want to be superhuman or superhero. And Chris told Jill, because Jill is already awakening, it's not too awake, but Chris already told Jill, Jill almost got killed off when he was trapped in the underwater. She's trying to throw a grenade to stop the BOW in the end, and she got trapped in the ropes, like a rope, She would have died. She was still rusty, She would have died, but she already awakened, It's just that she was rusty. That's why Chris warned her, She would have died, but she survived, in the end. But for Leon, I'm not sure much. Leon just cried in the end. Vendetta, Chris just told him, but didn't tell him one day you will have to survive or not, And then Chris, that's why he wants to give up his BSA, his spot of like special operation operator or something like that. So in the BSA, so that Chris, I still like his outfit, his outfit is more cooler than Leon, his outfit is just cool, Chris Redfield. It's like similar to the Resident 6 outfit of BSA, like that. But Chris is not like chunky, or goofy, or like, punching the wall, all serious now, They kind of sometimes make fun of the characters a bit, or sometimes jokes, But this one I like, they didn't do that, If they put cheesy things, or the zombies, how some players trying to make parodies, how they got it from parody, the word parody, and how Resident 4 was, and they made a parody, Days of Our Lives, Aqua, or like, Leon, time to take you down. Like that, and how the zombies was, how they look, and how they got defeated, It was funny if you look at very closely. If you've seen the Resident 4 original a bunch of times, they would have been funny, parody like this. That's why they did that in Death Island, It's funny, in some type of way, even so it's like a horror type of way. They don't intend it to make it like funny or some type of way, but it kind of look like it with Death Island when the zombie go like, I got you, Leon and Jill, and then oh crap, and then got taken away from the liquor, and then the hunter liquor came out, the fishing new look hunter came by, now it's more aware, it's kind of smarter now. And it doesn't mean like, oh, it's not enhanced, the zombies got enhanced, it's movement, could dodge similar to the Los Plagas, from Resident Evil 4. where they could dodge their bullets, you know. But this time they like participate their movement and skills, you know, all that, because they got their data now. And it's like similar to Resident Evil 6, but more smartness, like similar to Resident Evil 6, you know, no hope. It's like this, you know. Even so, they don't put like multiplayer or DLC or survival horror multiplayer in the mansion or helping the Resident Evil Outbreak, but disable, like blocking the door or enable or kick out the player, you know, the trolling, you know. That type of way, that type of level, you know, but they didn't use that, but like that, and the Resident Evil, that's why the zombies, it doesn't make like it's funny, you know, in that part, you know, the zombie got taken down or how it looks, you know, so they're not intended to be funny, you know. It's still scary, you know. It's just that it's how it looks, you know, how the players see from their parody from Resident Evil 4 called Days of Our Lives, like that. How Resident Evil they're fighting when the zombie jump off from the off top of the floor from the island, and then they jump off and make them zombies, you know, like that. And see how they look in the enemy. When they like, it's just, they're not intended to be funny, you know. It's just that you don't put the high level difficulty to no hope. Maybe assist mode they could be look funny, you know, some way, but it's not, you know. But they kind of did the similar to Resident Evil 4, you know, those enemies, how they dodge, how some players do parody and think that it's funny, you know, the zombies, like that, you know. And then it went back to serious from Death Island, you know, and that's why like Chris told Jill, you know, giving tips. Jill is rusty, but she was prepared now, you know. She know what was going on and she survived. Leon, look, he is focusing on a mission. It's just that Leon, his ego is always about himself, you know. He didn't help the team of Chris Redfield and them, you know. Leon was on his own, but he know the direction, you know. But he thinks it's a hot shot, you know, similar to Jill. That's why Chris told Jill to call back up to help Jill to save her. Doesn't mean that Chris doesn't care. He did, you know. He was worried, you know, because Jill was rusty, you know. If he wasn't worried, he would have left Jill on its own doing her mission like usually, but she was rusty, you know. She was still rusty, but she knows what's going on. She knows how to defeat like Nemesis. She knows how to do, you know. She's superhuman also, you know. That's why Chris pretty much added her as his team. He trusts her more than Leon. I don't know how well he trusts more, you know. Claire he does. Claire and Jill. That's why they would do something with it in the next Resident Evil or some type of way. Would they ever do that? And Leon, I don't know if Chris trusts Leon more, you know. It's his ego. And plus, Leon never told Chris advice. You know, you see how Leon was in Vendetta? So what you want, Redfield? This is Glenn Ayres, you know, from that quote from Vendetta. It's like, this is Glenn Ayres. He's a drug dealer or something. He's a merchant of something. And then, this is your vision, not mine. God damn it, Leon. You know, that type of way. From the quote from Resident Evil Vendetta from. Yeah, Leon doesn't like Chris Redfield. Just like in Resident Evil 6, when they fought each other. They even saw they were like buddies now. Leon's still doing his own thing, you know, and they don't get along with Chris Redfield. So pretty much they know what's up. Even they know even how to take down Chris Redfield, Jill, and Claire. We don't know what will happen to them. We don't know, you know, but they go that direction the same like the villain did, but not make mistakes. You know, that could be a thing, you know. It could be similar to Glenn Arias. Glenn Arias was big, you know. It just gave Chris Redfield time, you know, and told them what to do, you know. But Chris did have a hard time, you know, but managed to survive with Leon, you know. But I'm not sure will be for Leon. He could dodge, you know, and that's why I'm showing this an example. This is just an education purpose. This is nothing serious. This is just a the rightful owner of Resident Evil. I'm just a fan, just discussion, and that to see how the zombie dodged. You see how the zombie dodged, how the bullets you trying to shoot and he dodged. You know, the guy, and they improved that in Resident Evil 4, but they made the character bouncy. You know, you react. It takes a while for them to respond back to normal. You know, they got hit, but then they got hit from them and they reacted. You know, and it takes a while for them to react back to normal so that you could control the character again and trying to react or taking down the zombie, you know, like that. They did it with Resident Evil 4, and they use that, and they use that also in Death Island. They improved that like type of AI thing. If it's ever going to be a game like Death Island in the future or not. There's just a few examples only, and that's why they reacted Chris Redfield and Leon comeback. But like I said, Chris and Leon don't get along. And we thought they do get along, but they don't really, you know. Leon is still starting to break apart. They will come to them, you know. Like how they surprised Rebecca Chambers and they came after her the most than Chris, because he was the main focus. And Chris noticed, and that's why Chris came to help Rebecca as such. He saved her, you know. Chris saved her. Doesn't mean that Chris Redfield knows everything, and that's why I thought he was a villain. That's why I thought, because he always there when the problem started. Chris is always there, you know. I thought he's a villain, but he's not. You know, I'm not sure much. It's possible he could be a villain, Chris, all along. But I notice how Chris is so smart and always know what's going to do. I thought maybe he is a villain, you know. Maybe he is part of Umbrella, but we're not sure, you know. That could be what I said with my question. It could be just fake. Maybe it's not possible for Chris Redfield to be a villain. He's just always preparing, he knows what to do, because like they say, Wesker mentioned that he is one of his special unit or something. That's why he's special, Chris Redfield. And Wesker says someday you will understand and will see what I see, or some type of way. Well, that's why Chris could have been maybe decided to be like that. But that is a different direction. It didn't look like it. It would have seemed that Chris Redfield was bad, but no. So they probably will see that now, like they always do. Every time they fight against a boss, they're always taking notes from them, and that's why they're gonna decide to take down Chris with Jill and Claire. But I'm not sure. But Leon, I don't know much. Gaiden is different. It will match up his skills maybe, and kill him off. I'm not sure, you know. Chris made 2 mistakes. Thought he finished off the boss. Resident Evil 6, he survived because Pierce took down the boss in the end. And Resident Evil Village, Lady Miranda, Chris did, he was the one that took down her source of power of her Yamato. But in the end, Rose was the one that took down Lady Miranda, just like Ethan Winter did. Ethan Winter took down Lady Miranda, and Ethan Winter still took her down, but somehow managed to know her power, how to make himself normal, like that. And Rose defeat Lady Miranda. And that's it, that's that direction. Chris, right now, is look how the enemy is, how they use, how they got improved or some type of way. And the direction that like a type of a wish list could be, but no, not a prediction or nothing, just a discussion talk. And Chris Redfield pretty much is like the main focus again. Even so, he wasn't, and that's good, you know. Finally focusing on Chris Redfield. Jill, I will want to see him, but the next one, you know, I still want to see Jill. I still want to see her as the main character. I want to play as a playable character, you know, just like Chris. Even so, then no one wants Chris to be playable, but it was. That's like in Village, you know, playable, you know, like a DLC or some type of way from Village. Would have been interested to see a campaign for him, but no, you know. His point of view as a character, you know, to see if he survived with the Lone Wolf Squad or some type of way. But no, it just showed the part of them together fighting against what's going on, and then Chris finding the power of Lady Miranda, you know, just like that, you know. Like Jill, I want to see, you know, this is not nothing. It's just guessing. They just talk about, you know, like. What Jill would do, you know? What Jill would do, how are they gonna do this? I'm not sure. She's a comeback. They can't get rid of how Resident Evil 3 Remake, they wanted to get rid of action, but didn't, you know, because Resident Evil 3 is like that. They brought the original, like I said, the dodging mechanic that I explained before in the other video that I made. Dodging mechanic, the smartness, and if they have used that more, and they did in the Infinite Inferno, the level in Resident Evil 3 Remake. Like what Jill would do if Chris is left out. He still be young, and they still have to explain the 16 years, you know. They still have to explain Chris. They still, even so he's finished. Like how they did in the reboot, you know, the reboot was finished. The CGI, you know, it's all rebooted. They would have done that, you know, similar to the Village, you know, but they didn't, you know. They brought Chris Redfield's original look from Resident Evil 6, and they brought the CGI. They brought it back. Like anything is possible, you know, but I'm not sure how Chris will be if he's not be playable anymore. Will he show him? That's the question. Were they gonna still show Chris Redfield? Or just his voice and walkie-talkie or something? When they talk, will Chris appear where? Will we show him in some other future CGI? Will Jill see Chris to come, because she's the only one who will be able to get Chris Redfield to come back? Or Jake Mueller could be a good guy too. Like how Pierce is talking. But it's different from the Resident Evil series. It's different from the Resident Evil series, and that I will be with the Resident Evil. Like this is from Vendetta, you know. This part, you know. They could have been like survival horror with teams surviving. The Resistance, they put that, you know, and they don't want to put this. Vendetta, Resident Evil game, or multiplayer, single player, or partner with, like how Resident Evil 6 did with Ada, with a partner to help Ada. where they made up a partner just for the player to get help and win, because how Ada is for the weapon choices, whatever, from the character. And that's why they put Ada in it for Resident Evil 6 to make it look good, you know, to help the player to win. That's why. And like Chris Redfield, like how they gonna do, you know, how will be. This is not Resident Evil 4 Leon Ada DLC yet. Look how different this is, you know. Resident Evil 6. Let's say it's a bad game, it's a good game, you know. But how will it will fit Chris Redfield in? Because there's still 16 years to explain about Chris Redfield, and that would be too much, you know. They decided to just skip it or type of way, like they always do, and some way it will come back, you know, someday or whatever to come back. And like how Jill will fit, you know, how Rose will fit, how her powers, her powers surviving, how Jill, her model, her agility, her smartness. You still will play a side character. Just like Ethan Winter is good, you know. Some type of side characters are important in some type of way. Just like in Resident Evil Damnation, where they saved Leon. Leon was still drunk. Leon wasn't focused. I think no player explained this or anything like that. Leon is drunk. He's not focused. He almost got killed off, but he was saved by the side characters, and then the side character became partner with Leon, and Leon fought against a powerful boss that knows how, like CQC or some type of way. Leon did have his own spotlight, you know, with the combat against the boss. 801 too, and both of them trying to take them down, you know. And then Leon almost got killed off in the end against the Tyrant from similar to Resident Evil 2. The final form of the Tyrant, you know, his final form. I don't know if that was his final form or not, but he was tall, and he got defeated, you know. It was a good Damnation. It would have been like a game type of way to switch characters each other, and there's like maybe a bar or a life bar of the Tyrant, and then they have to bring back quick time action button to react, you know, when the button or the action button or the letter of the X or whatever come out for the button, and you have to react to continue the cutscenes, you know. And it's playable because your reaction and such, you know, that they removed. They probably will brought it back if they followed up the Damnation story, Resident Damnation, and they probably be playable, you know. Probably the character you helping them, he's just stuck, you know. You probably would call Nightmare or some type of way. You have to like finish it. You have to do all those parts. You have to do those parts and finish the game or some type of way. This is my guesses, like how Resident Evil Lost Nightmare was. It would be like similar to that, you know. But they didn't, you know. Resident Evil Vendetta also would have been like that, you know. Fighting, and then Chris having a hard time against Glen Ares. You have to react or you get killed off. You lose a bunch of times in the battle against Glen Ares. If it was playable, Resident Evil Vendetta. It did mention in the DVD of Vendetta when they introduced, they did VR. That's how VR started with Vendetta, you know. Like Dead Island 2, the game. It's like very close to Vendetta graphics, you know. Very close, but it was first person, you know. First person, you know. I don't know who would have been if it was like for similar to Resident Evil 6. If they had continued with after the movie was released, Vendetta, they would have put like some Resident Evil Vendetta game, first person, VR, like enhanced, like similar to Dead Island 2, the game. but perhaps more, because I think Vendetta is more enhanced than Dead Island 2, you know? The players probably be zombies, because there's a playable demo from Resident Vendetta. You play as a zombie, you know? You get to face Leon and Chris, and that graphics, and it doesn't mean that can't, it can't be done. It looks like it from the demo, even though it was just a demo, you could to see that the players could be zombies that would be playable, you know, just like Resident 6 was. But like I say, they didn't put a huge budget for Resident 6. Just like Resident 6. Resident 6 was a huge budget, and it was like over 500 like that made Resident 6, you know, they brought 500 people some type of way to make Resident 6 and made it good, and but then didn't sold well, just like Last of Us did. Went in a different direction, Last of Us Part 2, but why is it that Resident 6 was different than The Last of Us? You know? Usually they take some examples from Last of Us, but like Resident 6 was already like ahead, you know? And that maybe the creator that did Resident 6, that took part the CGI, would have done similar to Vendetta, you know? Because it went serious, you know, the graphics and such. Or maybe VR wasn't prepared for Resident 6. How it was, probably would be different. Perhaps the VR, perhaps would be VR 3, then 2. Perhaps VR 3 would be different. And then perhaps Resident 6 would be like that, you know? It would be like similar to the treatment how Resident 6 was, you know? Action, survival, there'd probably be survival. Zombies, similar to the Resident Generation, that thought that it never was gone. Never was gone, it was there. It's just only that they wanted to bring it back, you know? And then perhaps there would be VR zombies, they become zombies, and then that action part with Vendetta where Leon and Chris is fighting against the zombies will have be playable, you know? And the players that playing as Chris and Leon, they wanted this challenge, you know, they wanted that difficulty, like how Vendetta Resident 6 did, gave the player want a challenge, you know, and they did focusing on the main players of Resident Evil that know a lot about Resident Evil, and that's why they give it to them, and then they fought against the players, you know. They could have been like creatures, they could have been like the hunter, like those monsters that shoot like acid. Could have been like zombies, could have been like a monster, like hunters and such. They could have done that, you know. They would have been the zombies too in Resident Vendetta, and the player would do like some action button to react, you know. They could have like they could have like dodged the zombies. They could have like, you know, that type of way. But I see why it wasn't like that in Vendetta. The treatment similar to Resident 6, and but it did treat it like that, you know, just the enhanced graphics from Vendetta in the movie. They did that in Resident Vendetta, you know, they put that in, they put the zombies, they put the how it looked, and it was good, you know. There's a few examples, you know, if it was the same treatment as Resident 6, like that, the same treatment as Resident 6, like this. What happened to same treatment? But like I should say, Vendetta was more enhanced. Why is it that it was different than Death Island? Why is it that movie of Vendetta was different? I'm not sure. Maybe a different graphics comparison, maybe a different monitor, different screen to watch it, and that's why it looks enhanced, or maybe not. I'm not sure. It's enhanced. Death Island is. The Vendetta was a lot different. That I remember, it was a lot different. Just like Resident 6, you know. Resident 6 is still a good game. I don't know how well it would be if it was a remake. It probably will cut out some things or such. Maybe the multiplayer or whatever. This is a lot different, you know. And yeah, it's a lot different. But Resident Evil. And the Chris Redfield, Leon. Like I say, I knew that Leon will be his a big part. There will be a big part coming for Leon, but I'm not sure much if Leon is already good. Chris is himself now. And he's like he said he wanted to stop where he was going in the game, in the series, but he continued, you know. He told Joe, you know, he would have stopped already. He's already at what they say older now. Like that's why he still continued. He saved Rebecca, you know. He kept the old star member to his team. But after that, and what happened to no one mentioned also in the BSA, if Resident Evil 9 or whatever was going to that BSA, no one mentioned also about Rebecca, what will happen, because she was still, we're not sure, she returned back to the university, and the story of Resident Evil, or Jill, no, or Rebecca, pretty much stayed in BSA. Chris just left her. That's the bad thing, you know. That part. Maybe Chris did make a mistake. We're not sure, you know. We're not sure what happened to them. They could kill off, you know. Just like they mentioned earlier ago. They mentioned in some part of the video, the creators of Resident Evil, they mentioned that they didn't like Rebecca Chambers. They wanted to kill off the character, but they continue. Why? No? And they say all players agree that they didn't want Rebecca Chambers at all to return. They wanted a different character to return. A different character. They wanted survival horror, but I'm glad they brought it, you know. I'm glad this is just my opinion, you know, but I'm glad they brought her back for a reason, you know. They brought her back because I knew it was an important character, you know. She was like that. They say some players think they're experts and trying to change the characters. I'm glad Resident Evil don't kind of listen on that part. On other parts they do listen, but those parts not. I'm glad they didn't change the characters. Like Rebecca, like, you know, be a superhero or some. She is like how she was created in the story of Resident Evil, the story. That's why she's like that, you know. But I see how Chris was, you know. Perhaps, you know, some few things that I said that Chris will probably make mistake with his too much focus. You know, he returned to himself. You know, he returned where he was. You know, the same old Chris, but he could make mistakes or whatever, and perhaps that's why Village didn't tell me anything. You know, what will happen now? They told me BSA, so they probably will kill Rebecca. We're not sure, you know, whether or not she's still in the BSA. Jill, we don't know if Jill survived, or BSA, or Chris, or like BSA still doesn't know, you know. When they get there, we don't know if they already alert, they already know that Chris is coming, and that Chris perhaps knows what's going on now. Like that part. That's the part I'm trying to predict, you know, when Chris get there. Like maybe the BSA knows, or that Chris is coming, or they don't know, and then Chris comes and tell them the question, you know. That could be that part, you know. And then maybe Rebecca still be alive, and Jill Jill could also be in there too, because Jill, like I say, is in BSA, and Rebecca too. Like I say, we don't know how long the timeline between Village and Death Island and Vandella, like how we don't know if Rebecca returns back to her like what she's doing, or she's still in BSA with Jill Valentine. It's just that right now BSA is not doing anything. You know, maybe Chris knows now, and that maybe BSA doesn't know what Chris already knows. You know, and that's why BSA pretty much is messed up, like in their part, because Chris now already known, and now like he's going ham and coming like with his lone wolf, return to BSA, and then maybe perhaps we'll tell Rebecca and Jill first, or maybe not. You know, he could make mistakes. You know, it could happen. We're not sure. You know, it could happen. Or Chris will be like, or maybe not. 50-50. Maybe we'll make a mistake. And it's just too late. That maybe some of the characters of like the main characters could die in the Village early. No, Resident Evil, or not. Or Chris will go directly to Jill and Rebecca, like how Chris is and he's worried and wants to get there fast so that he could tell Jill. He could still contact them, but I'm not sure if he does contact Jill and Rebecca. BSA will know what he's going to say, and that's why, and it would be too late, and that's why maybe Chris is going there right now so that he could tell them, the main characters of the series, and see who's behind what's of the clone of like some BSA characters that look like Chris, like that. Or Chris could be villain, and he set this up just so he could kill off Jill and Rebecca. We don't know, you know. That's why Chris left. In this part, he left the BSA because of the Frisk, or what's his name? The main his former team, yeah, from Resident Evil 6. That's why he left. Pierce was looking for him, and it could be different ways, but we're not sure, you know. We're not sure what's going on. Right now, Chris was like, it could be different, you know. Maybe he was planning, and that's why he left. And Pierce came, and that's why Chris, or not, you know. It could be different way, because Chris always there, and that's why. And like right now, Jake Mueller could return. Sherry could return. There's a chance that Sherry could return before Resident Evil 9 comes out. Sherry or Jake Mueller, what he's doing. Like Rebecca, like we'll know what timeline will be for her. Like it shows the part where she was part of BSA. Perhaps they will explain that or not. Or if they rather choose that direction, show the part how what she was doing, you know, and then before she gave up being a BSA teammate, like that, or she did something else, and we don't know, you know, which part will take place, where Chris is already coming to Village. It could be different, you know. No, from BSA, it could be different. Anything is possible, you know, of Resident Evil characters. Whether perhaps maybe they did stay behind and sit down in the BSA while Chris, or they're doing something else, Jill, or not. Or they both of them stay behind BSA and Chris, you know. Chris is not gonna contact Jill and Rebecca right now if BSA already know what she's doing. That's the part, you know. That's why Chris is taking like safe steps so that he will get there. And then we don't know what would be for Resident Evil 9. What timeline will be, what take place, what will be further. what they probably skip, and perhaps it would show a flashback of them going to BSA and such, and they show their battle, and then it's finished, you know. Perhaps they want to show parts, details of what happened, and the players wants to know what happened to Jill and maybe Jill, maybe not Rebecca. Perhaps they don't want to know, or perhaps they will know because you know they did show her and save them. You know, they saved the characters. They saved Chris. Chris knew that's why he like protecting his former teammate from Stars. But what happened? He left because of his ego. That's the problem in that part. Only in that part. Even so, he's his original form. He's back where he was. It's just that there's always a part, a little part that he still has that little problem of him like going serious, and that's why he's forgetting of his teammates or leaving them behind. Because Pierce was there for a reason to get Chris back where he was. You know, it's okay, Chris. I'm here to get you back where it was, get your life straight, so that you could save the universe or something. And then what happened? Pierce is already dead, gone. In the game of Resident Evil, the characters of Resident Evil, he got KO in the Resident Evil 6, the playthrough. It's in there in the ending, and just search it, and Pierce has already got KO. He saved Chris from the ending. And Chris pretty much is now on his own without Pierce telling him. And so pretty much it came back to him, leaving his teammates by themselves without like warning, without telling them, because he went on his own trying to take down Lady Miranda. The same problem from Resident Evil 6 did. It came back to him, and now he's probably made some few mistakes that they given the villain a chance to take down Jill and Rebecca. We don't know if BSA that they're already starting their plot, or trying to take down Jill and Rebecca already. The BSA, we're trying to send more the BOWs some more type of way for, and that's what it is. We don't know if BSA already went serious or they're just playing like pretend, and that's why Chris is now on his own to save his teammate Jill and Rebecca. That's it. That's the part. You know, they say they will not show them, and it's showing the Resident Evil rumors that they will not show Rebecca or Barry. This is the rumors from that they say that Rebecca and Barry will not be there, but they have to show them because Barry perhaps they will not show them. Maybe that would be a good thing, because how are they gonna show them if Alex Wesker hadn't killed Barry yet, or not planning to kill him yet? And how Rebecca was shown in the chat will not show her. It will show her because she's in BSA. Either she's not BSA, that means that's a good thing. She's on a different mission, doing something else. And the timeline is not too far apart, or she is she's still in the BSA. You know, Revelation 3 will be a different one, will take place, you know. Because in Resident Evil Village, before they have changed the story, Rebecca was supposed to be in Village, you know? It's supposed to be similar to Resident Evil 6, you know? I thought I would have my guess, you know? And that's why I buy Resident Evil Village, and it will be like that, you know? But no, you know, they cut it off, but it was saved for a reason, you know? What will Revelation 3 will be? Will it be like how she's doing something else? Is she doing something else? Just like they're finding an example, like how those characters are doing, all of them. That means that would be a good thing, you know. That means she's doing another mission, and that's good, you know. But if not, I mean, Chris made a mistake, you know, and then he pretty much messed up his chance of his team to survive, like a percentage rate or something. I'm not sure what it will be for that village. We don't know what would take place. How they gonna, which immortal thing would be, but they would show like something like that, similar to Lady Miranda powers, you know, maybe they could do that, you know, illusion, foggy, a loop, in that dimension, they can't get out and they have to find a way to escape the loop some way, or and then that person, that villain or something is similar to Lady Miranda, immortal or not, you know. Or not, you know. It probably not, you know. But my um, discussion about this, that's why I wanted to brought it up, because it's very close, you know. It's very close to Resident Evil 9 now. It's very close, you know, from 2025. But that's why I want to talk about it now. Talk about it ahead. Like, how would I do with with what will be the direction? Well, like, I'm explaining what the Chris Redfield is doing. What direction will Chris will do? You know, I'm trying to guess his direction, what he's doing. You know, what the series is going, what Chris is doing. You know, what he will do if like, what will Chris will do? You know, and that's the question. And Jill, the most. I know Jill is staying low, because her guard is pretty much low with the BSA. But I know Jill is very aware, or she does, her instinct came back to her, like being aware of things, you know, like that type of thing. Oh, she's let her guard low, and that's why she's in BSA. Or not, you know, maybe, like, we don't know, you know. But pretty much during that time in Death Island and Vendetta, Chris was himself, you know. Right now, Lady Miranda took him away from the BSA. Maybe that's a smart way, you know. Maybe Lady Miranda. Maybe no one explained this. Maybe my guess is that Lady Miranda pretty much took Chris from BSA so that her teammates, the connection, or the whatever that's friends with Lady Miranda, she wasn't part of Umbrella, but she could have, like, maybe could contact Umbrella or not, or the connections from Lady Miranda. These, perhaps no one explained this, but that's why I want to put this in first. That I think Lady Miranda took Chris Redfield away from BSA to get him to lose focus, come after her, because she was a big thing. Why did she decide to appear now? Why decide to take part of the Resident Evil series now? I mean, so she wasn't part of it. She stayed aside for a long time. But she was influenced with it because her powers and the Ouroboros and all that stuff. And that's why Umbrella is doing. That's why she decided to come in now. But because of Chris Redfield, she decided to came in to take down the big one, you know, the big name, Chris Redfield. And then Chris Redfield now got distracted. And he made a mistake. He went back to what it was in Resident Evil 6. When he saw his original form, his big problems came back with trying to take down the main villain, and that's why Chris left his team behind. He did care about himself and his mission again. He made that mistake on that part, and now in BSA, and now in that part, Chris is now has to has to go back, and now he's worried like a chicken. He is worried. So pretty much he's a chicken. Pretty much he's worried that what will happen to Jill and Rebecca, you know? Now you made a mistake, you know? Because Lady Miranda did it, you know? She was smart, you know? She would have been revived twice, the second one. But like I say, Rose saved Chris Redfield's mistake by defeating Lady Miranda in the DLC of Resident Evil Village. Ethan went to save Chris Redfield because he made a mistake. The second one is Rose defeating Lady Miranda. But she survived 16 years, you know that? Lady Miranda survived 16 years. We don't know. It's not like Rose grows so quickly, you know? It took time. That's why it took 16 years. And that's why Rose defeated Lady Miranda, and Chris Redfield made a mistake, you know? Lady Miranda survived, you know how? We don't know if she appeared again or not. But she survived. She lasted 16 years, you know? It was her chance to awaken again, and she did. She was waiting for Rose to return, but what happened? Rose defeated her. That's two things that saved Chris Redfield, you know? Chris has made a mistake now, you know? And maybe after 16 years has passed, Chris Redfield has finally lost his skills or his awareness, and that's why Lady Miranda came back. But what happened? Rose defeated her. That's explained. I don't think no player explained that, you know? I kind of went ahead, you know? I kind of went really ahead with this direction that I'm saying. With Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil Village, the AI, the zombies, dodging, and how they got better improvement of like than just how Glen Ares is, so finding friend and foe. Like you could detect friend and foe, you know? It knows its master, like Glen Ares, and just took down Chris Redfield, you know? And then, you know, that type of part, you know? They're like similar to Marcus from Resident Evil 0. In the game of Resident Evil 0, 10 years ago, and took away his big thing, you know? And then that's how that supernatural boss is. You know how Supernatural from the series that was made? That's why it made, you know, Supernatural. You know, the series of Dang and Sam. Sam, come here, Sam. Ding, to Sam, come. Gosh, Sam, you know, like that series? Yeah, that's Ding and Sam. And that's why I decided to brought that to Resident Evil. Decided I went back to that superpowers thing. It's a kind of Marvel type of way, but still horror a lot. Just a bit more balance with action. And the Marcus became a supernatural boss. It was the first example to the CGI series, you know, and the difficulty, you know, and that the difficulty of the zombies have so much health. They have so much health in Resident Evil 0 than Resident Evil 1. They have so much health. Marcus was very hard. He could transform. Has like 3 forms. First form, second form, and third form. The third form, you know, has so much health. He could outsmart the player. The final form and the second form. The second form is hard too, only if you have your grenade launcher that you needed to take down and enough bullets to take down the health, or know how to get the boss distracted so that your teammate Bravo team went somewhere else and doesn't go to that same spot. That's why, you know, and that's why you survive and defeating them with the bullets, you know. It's very hard, you know, and that's why Pierce is there. Like a constant, you know. That's how they got the direction for Death Island, you know. How this fake Ada Wong. Ada Wong also is part of Umbrella too. This fake clone of Ada Wong was created. That would no one explain this, you know. That's how they got the smartness, you know, how the situation is in. And then Chris is not focused, you know. That's why Pierce is there. But his conscience telling him you need to get out. You need to, like I said, Chris is finally returned back who he was. Just the one thing of his weakness that he made a mistake was trying to get the villain back. And, you know, going all ham and be all serious, you know. That he made a mistake. That's why Lady Miranda took him away from BSA. Now what will happen, you know? I thought that Mario Gomez will be the villain and will have take down Chris Redfield and the BSA. But didn't, you know? If it's someone else, who will take that role, you know? Who will be, you know? We're not sure. You see how Pierce is trying to get Chris back? You know, this is what it is, you know? The villain is very smart, you know? That villain was Umbrella. She was Umbrella, you know? She has so many lives, and Ada Wong defeated her. But what happened? What happened? She defeated him, you know. Ada Wong went on her own because he went on her own, you know, just like Leon. But we don't know much about her, what roles he has, why she appears so many times, and such, you know. And that Ada Wong pretty much went on her own because someone look like her. That's the reason why I have a clone, you know. That's why Ada Wong came to defeat her. But she was Umbrella, you know. That's how this went back to situation, went back to the original, where Chris and them are starting to have a hard time. And then someone mentioned, like, I disagree with some viewers, whatever, about like never give them a chance. They finally did give them a chance. They got their data. Now that it's finished, now you have to go ahead and think ahead and like, okay, now someone could definitely take down Chris and them. They will be could have been finished, and that's the reason why Chris brought Pierce, just in case if Chris got defeated in Resident Evil 6. But he didn't got defeated because Pierce saved him. Twice, save him, you know. He saved him the first one when his arm got cut off, and Pierce has to transform so that I could save him. And then the second one was where he left. And the other part is that Chris went away, and then he stayed behind Pierce because it's already too late for him to be normal. And Pierce destroyed the main boss that was super powerful and got taken down, you know. And that's why he went back, you know. He went back to its original Resident Evil. Just don't know what it will be for Resident Evil 9. I'm just explaining this. I don't know much about what will be, what's going to be, what Chris will face if he goes there. But will they skip it? Will they skip that timeline? Will they go further? Like I say, like just like Resident Village, where they skipped that part where how Chris left the BSA and how he faced Lady Miranda, you know, that part. They skipped that part. It will be like, perhaps it will be like that, and then perhaps it will show Jill. But we don't know, you know, what Jill is superhuman now. She's super agility, she's superhuman. We don't know how long. I don't want it to be skipped longer. Just stay, you know, and then I skip them long to explain the remaining timeline. And then a new character could appear. A new character will probably show and be added to the series, you know. Perhaps it will be part with BSA, with Jill. And Rose, Claire. We're not sure about Claire. We don't know if she's has low infect too. I think she is similar to Jill. Look how Chris is, you know? It shows that part in Resident Evil 6. It would have been playable in DLC, you know, but Village would have been like Chris' campaign on his own, and Chris is chasing Lady Miranda because it could show parts, you know, and they still be part of Chris, and then it could show the timeline, it could show the date or what timeline it is of Chris, and that Chris is facing Lenny Miranda. This part shows this part. It shows the timeline of Chris chasing this fake Ada Wong, the clone. You know, it shows this part. It would have explained well with Visual Village. You know, well explained well of him. Chris Murphy his own campaign, explaining that, and then facing the ropes with his own Wolf Squad team. Maybe show more of them, and maybe parts how they, maybe a chopper of them get in the village, you know, and then they start their mission, and Chris is doing their mission, you know, and Chris is doing his other part. He probably will be in another area, facing some parts, you know, like that, you know. It could show that part, you know, and the Winter Prep will meet Chris Redfield. It could show part, yeah, how Resident Evil 4 was, you know, Resident Evil 4 original was, you know, how Ada Wong meet Leon. You see Leon running around because he was fighting against the Los Pagas, and then you were Ada, and you're trying to see Leon, but you can't because Leon is doing his thing, you know. It's like them meeting each other, but they're not meeting each other. It's just that Leon is doing his thing while Ada is seeing Leon, and she kind of helped Leon. Like that part, you know, just like in Resident Evil 6, where Ada helped out Sherry. She helped Sherry while she's doing her mission, you know. Have a spare time to save Sherry, you know, because she was thinking that it will give Leon mad if something happened to Sherry, you know. That's why there's like some character meeting. But they're not really meeting each other. It's just that they're doing what they're doing. Either they are in the same spot. Of course, Ada will help, you know. Ada did that, you know. With Leon, where Leon was running behind the scenes, where Leon is doing his thing, or Ada is helping, you know. I see why they didn't put like an online multiplayer thing, like how similar to Devil May Cry, you know, like the other characters, Neo and Devil May Cry, you know, those characters, but they meet each other. But for Resident Evil 4 is not. There is kind of, it's like similar to that, but it's not. It's just that Ada was there to help Leon behind the scenes, save Leon too, you know. And then she leaves, you know, just like in Resident Evil 6, she's there, and then she leaves, you know, just like that. It would have done something to Resident Evil Village. She was there, and with Ethan Winter, but then she left. The story was different, you know. That would have make sense, you know. That probably would make sense of the original timeline story of Resident Evil. How Resident Evil was, and the lore of Resident Evil, the lore timeline or something that will explain. See what Chris is doing, you know, focusing on the villain, you know, too much. He already left the BSA vulnerable, leaving his own teammates behind. See, Chris made that same mistake again, you know. That's why they got their data from Chris now. They got the data of Chris Redfield, and Rebecca is on her own. They didn't got her, she's still safe, but they did come after. It could be a smart way. So it's possible that Rebecca Chambers could get killed off, or Leon. Possible. Leon, high rated it is. This is only a special BOW or some type of way that could take down Leon. That one would be a thing. But the Tyrant probably would be very smarter, you know. You probably have multiple choices, multiple close timing or such, faster time, or wonder how it will be if it goes to that direction, like Gaiden. You have to done it right, you have to do it perfectly or something, you have to save Leon. Leon has already went on his own, you know? Chris pretty much show him more, you know, of him. It show him now, the main character, you know, and show Chris what he's doing, what's the problem, what he's doing, what happened to him, his team, what happened to his Vendetta team. And then it could have showed that like this, you know, how Chris is chasing. It could show that part from Village, you know, it would have done that, you know, it would have shown an example from Resident Evil 6 that I thought it will go, but no, you know, it's just it went on their own, you know, it's just a guess as a player, you know, it's like a fan just guessing things, and that, not like, it's just an example, this is just an explanation about, oh, Chris went that direction. They would have been like gone similar to Resident Evil 6, you know, facing Lady Miranda. His teammates from Press will have the same treatment at RE Engine, you know, like that. And then the Vendetta teammates that was with Chris Redfield got killed off, you know, from Lady Miranda. It could show that part of Lady Miranda taking down his team, and then Chris went on his own, and it probably will be a playable campaign of him doing something with Lone Wolf Squad and seeing what's going on, but he can't be can't help the, like, you know, the over the village, you know, help them, because Chris has to stay low and Lady Miranda is just doing his things, you know, and then Chris will find Lady Miranda's location and then take her down, you know, like that. But didn't, you know, didn't show that part, you know, it just skip it, just like in Vendetta where it just skip Leon with Glenarius, how he met Glenarius, how he knows about Glenarius, you know, that part, you know. That's why Resident Evil 6 came, you know. Why is it that some certain creator of Resident Evil came back just for Resident Evil 6? It was kind of part of Resident Evil Village also, you know. Resident Evil Village, you know. You know, the studios also kind of like an exclusive took part of this and did their own, you know, the Likers or something, the Wolf, it's like team, the Order 1886, it's like that, and then the Control, Evil Within did their own, but Resident Evil, done differently, you know, and then the Werewolf, they're not Lycans or something. They're werewolves. Like, they could do that, you know. They did it on their own, you know. They did puzzles. Chris would have died, but Chris was saved because the winter. That's good, you know. Chris would have been killed off just like Lady Miranda could have done that to Chris Redfield, you know. Chris would have called back. He would have called Jill some type of way of his team getting killed off by Lady Miranda, and Chris would have called Jill. Jill would have appeared too in Village, you know. Anything's possible, you know. What will be, you know. Anything is possible in the village, in the connections. Now you see villains. Now I have to like explain this. I have to like tell that what will it be for Chris, you know, because I see how Chris is, you know, from 6, you know. But that's why that's why the creator of Resident Evil came, just like Revelation 2 also, you know. Revelation 2, Revelation, and Resident Evil 6, the creator of Resident Evil, from that took part of Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 4, and you know, it left but got an explanation and was worried that Resident Evil 4 would be ruined. That's why they asked the founder of Resident Evil for if Resident Evil 4 would be okay. We'll take like maybe like asking what will be ask the fans, because it's for the players, you know, because Resident Evil 4 was successful and it was worried that it would be ruined, like how Resident Evil 2 remake was, 3 remake. it was good, you know. It's called content, you know, director cut and such, you know. Like how Konami kicked Kojima. That it went that direction, you know. Metal Gear was okay, you know. Metal Gear wasn't the same as Resident Evil treatment, you know. Resident Evil lost its founder and creator, you know, like and then and that's why it was mentioned, you know. He came back for the survivor horde for Evil Within, and that. But don't forget, there's another creator that was behind with Resident Evil, the founder of Resident Evil, you know. Shinji Mikami and Hiro Kobayashi, the two founding members, the creator of the Resident Evil series. Shinji Mikami got kicked out. I kind of didn't know anything about that until later on, until they finally explained it. That's why they kicked out. Or maybe not got kicked out, you know, I'm not sure if they got kicked out. But Hiro Kobayashi didn't what they say, you know, he just decided to move on to something else, you know. Shinji Mikami, in that part, I don't know much, you know, what happened. Perhaps it's the same as Hiro Kobayashi, you know, just move on to something else, or was the same as Konami, you know, that Kojima got kicked out like that. That's why Metal Gear was on its own, you know. It always comes out, you know, before Resident Evil, you know. It always come out before Resident Evil because the Silent Hill team is part of Kojima, you know, and that's why Metal Gear is always successful, you know, open map or something. Metal Gear Solid good enhanced graphics was the first to release the Metal Gear Solid 5, then Vendetta. Vendetta wasn't released because perhaps that perhaps it will explain well. That's why there is a problem in that part. In that part there's a problem, and that's why it didn't come out. Vendetta or this generation didn't come out. Doesn't mean that we don't know much about what happened to the founder creator of Resident Evil, what happened, and don't know much, you know. It's on its own, you know. I would stay away from that. Just explaining that part only, and that's it. I'm just a player, just explain discussion, and that's it. I don't like take sides. This is a discussion only. This is just my opinion only. I just want to explain that part only, and that's it. Doesn't mean I take sides. It's just a discussion only, and that's why, you know, Metal Gear was enhanced. It had its made up side story, like Metal Gear made up story that they got, but I know it was canon too, you know. And even the Metal Gear Solid 5, like they took out the DLC, you know. It's all enhanced graphics. It was like a movie universe. It was like they brought in like it was good game. It was a good story, you know. It was a high performance. I'm not sure. It was the universe of Metal Gear. It's just like Resident Evil, you know. It's just like Resident Evil doesn't use it a lot, you know how Resident Evil 3 remake where zombie brats appear in the window. Yeah, it didn't use that more, you know. Metal Gear used it a lot, you know. It shows the different of the character of Venom Snake. But in Resident Evil 1, Deadly Silence, it did show similar to Metal Gear. It's just that it wasn't enhanced graphics. No, it wasn't. But it did show a different, you know, rebirth mode, and it gives you a chance of the character, you know, this birds coming through the mansion and such. It was different, you know. The entrance of the door will be open, and from the main entrance of the mansion. And that's why it's different, you know, just like Resident Evil Outbreak was. And they used one of the characters that survived from Resident Evil Outbreak. That she was also Umbrella. She survived. She got her memories. He was like the bad guy or something, but she got her memories back, and it was she created the Blue Umbrella. She was the one that was talking to Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 7, not a hero. And I don't know much about that. I don't know much about the Resident Evil series, its characters. I just want to talk about that and its characters and that part. You know, and even like I say, they don't take sides. It's just a discussion. I just want to explain that part only, and that's it. They want like that's the creators that created the CGI, and then after they were worried about survival horror was going, or that Resident Evil was going to be bad, or survival horror won't be back to what it was. Like Evil Within came, Evil Within 2, but there's no sequel. Evil Within 3, it didn't continue, and then the Resident Evil 7 came back. There's still like that's why there's a reason why they created the CGI, you know. But now, what would be without the kind of? There's another one, you know, Revelation 2. Revelation 2 is it too? You know, there was the last CGI game universe. It's still there. I mean, they're still there, and that's why they took Resident Evil Death Island. They took Resident Evil Death Island when Hiro Kobayashi left Death Island. But the other creators took part of Resident Evil Death Island. That's why they did it, you know. They did it. But this is the reason why Hiro Kobayashi was the one behind the CGI series and even the Resident Evil 6. Even so the team left, they always have some way to like talk to so that they know what's the next Resident Evil be. That's a good thing, you know. It's very good, and that's the thing, you know. And the survivor horror, the multiplayer is always different, you know. I didn't took part in any of that, or some discussion about the survival horror multiplayer. I don't want to I don't want to take sides at all. It's just a multiplayer that I enjoy. Resident Evil Resistance I enjoy, and the Village the Resident Evil new one. That's like a PvP thing. That's a thing, and even the Umbrella Corps PvP also, but didn't use like a survival horror similar to Resident Evil Outbreak, you know, that helping your team. It'll be like how it's like that, you know. No, it's different now. I just talk about that and that's it. And that's the series of Resident Evil, and it's like I say, it's not, the CGI is not finished, or it is. Like I said, this still could be for the next Resident Evil series. It's just that it will not perhaps will be the same how it was, like Vendetta was, or how they brought the others to be part of Resident Evil, you know, like the anime, you know, that you just guess. They did not like something else to create it to be them. Like I say, for example, for them, that's why they brought like anime like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures or Ghost in the Shell, like, and Psycho-Pass was some anime, and they all came together to do a Resident Evil series. That's why it went serious, you know. That's why it went back its roots. But it was someone that took part of the CGI series, like kind of telling them, like, this is how the character is, you know, like their role, you know. Like, that's the reason why the creator, like, took part of it, and tell them this is how the character is. This is the original Chris Redfield. He went to this direction. He was a hero. He was like Veronica. He was the one of Wesker man. What happened to villain? How come Chris always survived? That's the thing. And it showed that, continued showing that Chris always survived and then knows what he's doing, and that's what it is. You know how Resident Evil 6 is, They show all this part because of the creator of Resident Evil was behind the Resident Evil 6. Was behind Resident Evil 6. Hiro Kobayashi was behind Resident Evil 6. Did Resident Evil 6, just like Resident Evil Damnation, explaining that story, and then Resident Evil 6, that part, and then it did the explanation of how it was in Resident Evil 6, how Chris Redfield was, and such. It was a lot different, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much. I don't know anything about this. I don't know. I just know from some players that knows about Resident Evil a lot than me. That knows a lot more than me, and that's why I just put this in, and explaining this. Like this direction will be if it was this reason why it went to CGI, then how The Last of Us was. Like it took the kind of its spot, and then of survival horror, and how survival horror is, but it's different, when it's speedrunning. It's different. That's not like, for me, it's not how like a speedrun is. Like it's just some cutscenes would have been removed, it would have been like an option for settings to just remove the cutscenes, but it's not. Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil it is, you're able to do that, you're able to skip cutscenes, or the settings, they give the player in The Last of Us settings to do difficulty, remove stuff and stuff, it was a lot different. It was the CGI universe that they brought. They went against Resident Evil because they won, Last of Us won against Resident Evil because they brought the CGI universe of a movie town. They brought it, they brought that up. They beat Resident Evil of that. But what happened, Resident Evil decided to come back with the red CGI. Decided to bring it back with Death Island. And like Vendetta, how it was, how Vendetta was. There were zombies. It was like that, and you think. For me, I thought another player was doing another parody just for Resident Evil 4. How the zombie was. Look how Resident Evil 6 is. Them. Look how they are. How Resident Evil 6 happened. I think they saw it. I think they saw that parody or some type of way, and improved the zombies so they don't look like that. Only one part is just that when the zombie appear and starting to come after Jill and Leon, the hunter took the zombie away and faced Leon and Jill, But the hunter liquor was smarter now, The hunter or whatever his name is, finally smart, improved, Just like the zombies did when Leon. Claire has a hard time against the zombie 1v1. That's why it was different now. It's like this. Resident Evil 6 is like this. Even so, the villain of Resident Evil 6 it was funny looking, but he was serious, It's different, It was a different part, different. The characters of Chris Redfield was in, and that's why, like I say, that's how I know from the Resident Evil series, the creators of Resident Evil, and the Evil Within 3 didn't came because maybe not focus, but for Resident Evil on this, continues. 2 years, Resident Evil Village, and then another one, Resident Evil 4 remake. They perhaps will take a day off. Perhaps we don't know much. But they probably would take a break on this or not. Pretty much, like they have multiple, like they could see what they could do with the Resident Evil series. Like Nemesis, they want to see, like some players want to change characters. Like they wanted to do that, They tried to change Rebecca, but it didn't turn out to be, She stayed as the same character from the original. They kept the same characters how they are, They kept them the same. They didn't change them. Leon, maybe they did with Leon. Only in the movies they did, because they're not like the team of Resident Evil. What they know about Resident Evil is just that it's a movie, But in the universe of Resident Evil, it's always the main one that knows about the Resident Evil. That's why they made it, and that's why they stay the same as them. They decided to not goof around with the character of Chris Redfield, punching the Rock. This is a made thing up or something, just to make the player think that way, make it look good like that direction, We don't know if the remake of Resident Evil 5 and the inspiration will be different, Chris will probably do something else. We already know about the beta, from the original, that Chris was Tricell, some founder was there trying to kill off Chris, Jill was there. Jill is with Chris. Chris is solo. There were zombies and such. Just like Revelation had a chance, it was removed. The Last of Us is not the only one that like two parts from, or the original parts that would have been. Joel will have been alive, maybe still be alive. The character of Joel in the Last of Us, but still could get killed off some type of way. It's like in Resident Evil. Resident Evil did it twice, Revelation, where there was supposed to be zombies. I'm focusing on Chris and Jill only partners or DLC, but that was removed. Just like in another one for Resident Evil 5, that was removed too. Jill was supposed to be there. Chris was supposed to be by himself. Chris maybe perhaps supposed to be younger than older than how he was. We don't know if would have been younger or older. Chris Redfield. We don't know what timeline will take place. And then there perhaps will be zombies on Wesker. Tricell was supposed to be there. That's why Claire returned back to Terror Save. Return back to that. Return to that part. That's it in that part, You kind of could tell that Claire probably would take a break, maybe. That could be it, Or Claire was doing something else. Right now, Claire, I could tell from this character story direction, Claire probably will visit Chris Redfield. Maybe a few times, probably will visit. And Jill will stay, like I say, how she is, stay low, or doing something else, perhaps will stay low. And then other characters, Rebecca Chambers will probably stay low, or doing something else, a mission or whatever. That's the thing that I know from Resident Evil. This is all addition of Resident Evil. you see the Resident Evil 6, Aiden Wong, what she's doing, the clone Aiden Wong, you know? She was like, that's why Chris is having a hard time. He having a hard time, you know? You know, there probably will be, this is my guess, probably will be a Death Island in the, movie theaters someday. Perhaps they will do it. I believe it's not too late, you know. Perhaps there will be a chance or not. Only next time will release in the movie theaters in the US. It could happen someday. It could happen. It's different, you know. It's just exact same as Resident Evil games where it's on its own, you know, just like Resident Evil this generation, you know. It's on its own, you know, like that. They kind of listen, but it's on its own, you know. Look how it is, this Resident Evil 6, you know. It's different. So many things. I thought Resident Evil Vendetta will come. I thought the consoles is ready, you know. Like PS5 and Xbox would have had Resident Evil Vendetta, you know. Would have an exclusive to Resident Evil, you know. You know what? That's why, like, kind of maybe some players don't. It's such a riskless. It's just like, it's not serious. It never come in, you know. This is just my opinion. That I was thinking maybe it was ready, you know. I thought Vendetta will be coming. Like Resident Evil Village was good, you know. Like Resident Evil Village would have come, you know. Resident Evil Village, no, like the exclusive to Resident Evil Village to consoles. Yeah, I know it's not important. Like I say, it's not very important about exclusive. It's better off to be releasing like multiple platform. But like, it shouldn't be restricted. Like, just to release like Vendetta. Resident Evil 4 remake is good, you know, but why not have Vendetta, you know? Like that's how most players want to see the zombies, you know. It's just not like from the flashbacks, you know. Like the remake is all good, you know. It's all great and stuff, you know. But I would like to be playable, you know, someday for the main characters. But in the CGI, you know, it's playable, you know. Just Final Fantasy VII did it. Final Fantasy VII remake, and then Metal Gear Solid 5. Why not Resident Evil? To have like Vendetta in, like how The Last of Us got that treatment, and The Last of Us Part 2, and why not Vendetta could get in. That's why, you know, the Xbox is ready, you know. Xbox PlayStation 5 has it. How long it will be for some specific title will come out. You know, I know that exclusive is not a thing, you know. It's not important, but it is kind of, you know. That's why Infinite Darkness came to streaming service temporary. It was a good thing while it lasted, you know. It was a good thing, and even the Death Island, why so restricted, you know? That's the thing, just a bit, you know. Like I just explained that you kind of maybe should listen a bit more, you know, to release this to the US in the movie theaters someday in the future. So that specific titles or Resident Evil timeline to be added. Death Island or like this future will be. I don't know much about the CGI series. You know, this is my opinion only. What will it be for Vendetta? You know. Like the Xbox has the titles, it has Evil Within 2, it has Resident Evil, it has like switching, it has more, kind of listen than just PlayStation. They just changed, PlayStation completely changed, not listen much, just the CGI did, just because the Sega did it, and Resident Evil, and not PlayStation, the main PlayStation platform. Or they didn't took Resident Evil, didn't like specifically take exclusive title from it. Just mainly focus on The Last of Us only, and that's a good thing and such, you know. That's the reason why Resident Evil is independent, and that's why decided to do its own thing. That's good, you know. It's just the restriction only, you know, of like Vendetta or Resident Evil Vendetta this generation, or PS Vita 2, or VR3, or Resident Evil Vendetta, or like that game to come out, and it will be different this generation too. Like Resident Evil 6 is, you know, with Vendetta, Resident Evil 6. They will not listen. This is my guess. Maybe you should listen a bit more. Just for that. Because Xbox and PlayStation 5 is already ready, you know? It's already kind of setting up just for just a specific title to come in. That's why Xbox kind of listen more than PlayStation. PlayStation, it took them a while just to release a specific PlayStation Plus subscription, protection, system protection. It's now to have like what they say, but they kind of are still the same. They're not listening. I don't know why they're like more like Resident Evil, but more restricted, you know? They're more restricted than Nintendo. They're kind of similar, but I'm not sure who's, like, maybe they're the same type of way. It's just that Nintendo is more restricted, just like PlayStation is. PlayStation does listen, but not a lot. Not a lot much. I know a few things about Resident Evil, Sega, Square Enix, Sony, like I say, other stuff, Chaos Break, anime series, or such. Like, that's why they released the premium subscription and such, and now Resident Evil Outbreak. And now it's a good thing they don't release Resident Evil Outbreak, you know? That's a good thing, because maybe players doesn't want to complain about the door block with players 12 to block them. That's a good thing, but they didn't have much protection, you know? They didn't like how it was when players talk about they want that maybe see like a wish list or a preview of something the console will have. And you know, the Xbox One with you could switch games. It won, you know. It took a PlayStation that stayed with PlayStation for kind of a long time. I'm not sure, and has played its games, the 1860 Order, The Evil Within, did that temporary exclusive thing. That was the thing, one time only. Like the Division, and then there's another one for the Division. The original was supposed to come out, and the Division Agents, whatever, story only or such. The multiplayer with the Dark Zone, how it was back in the day, and that's why the Order 1806 came. But what happened? They got bought. That's why they didn't continue anymore. And the Resident Evil decided to not release Outbreak. Resident Evil Outbreak is just another one. They made a resistance for the players to play than having modders to do choosing zombies with spots. That's why they saw that and put resistance. This is that PlayStation hasn't, like, they kind of listened, but they haven't listened to the players, like some like what things could be added to the consoles, you know, streaming play different games in it, switch around. I think they made that mistake only, and that's why Xbox won it. Like, I know they know each other. It's just that Xbox is different, you know. It's a PC. The PC, it has multiple. You can switch games, playable, you know. That's why it has the advantage. And PlayStation 5, you know, protection, 100% protection, for sure, protection, 100% what happened, you know, from The Last of Us and Division, multiplayer, the multiplayer situation, the Division, Dark Zone, the problem with the PvP and PvE only. Once the PvE players is there because they were the Resident Evil players who made a gear. No, they never experienced like the type of way of PvP of the Dark Zone, but it's good. And then or The Last of Us. That's why Resident Evil did the Resistance. So the modders doesn't take. They're good. The modders, they care a lot about Resident Evil. They do their story and such. It's just that like Resident Evil decided to do Resident Evil multiplayer now. They did the Resistance. Why not more of it? Survival horror, like type of way, multiplayer. You know, they're like similar to PlayStation Resident Evil. They kind of listen, but they don't listen 100%, you know? They don't listen, you know? Xbox did, you know? Why? You know, it's the first time, you know? First time for me to see that. And then went to that console. Then PlayStation 5. Like, I recommend PlayStation 5, you know? The 8K type of thing, 8K resolution, 120 FPS, and such. The Xbox, you know, I could do more, you know, 350 FPS maybe. If players doesn't want to buy PC and just go directly to Xbox or PlayStation, but the most maybe Xbox. If they go to Xbox, the Game Pass, but it has to have like maybe good frame rate, no lag, better protection. Like they do have protection. Serious with the security thing on that type of way, and better FPS and such, you know, that type of way. You know, and maybe a special title is maybe not. Maybe they don't focus on the Resident Evil players. Maybe focusing on the Xbox Halo players. They could bring a title, maybe Revelation 3, Resident Evil Vendetta in there one time, and that's it. And then they already have Resident Evil and Game Pass. They had this Dino Crisis type of spin-off multiplayer thing that they have. That Resident Evil is doing, trying to take the spot of Division. They're trying to take the spot of Division. And Resident Evil, Marvel also. They were trying to compete against Division with the mobile, but what happened, the players didn't want to play it, and that's why it got cancelled. Just like this is Square Enix with its First Soldier. And that's how it is with the multiplayer. That's how it is. Xbox for me won against PlayStation because they listen and the protection. I see why I see the protection. That's why I went straight to Xbox then PlayStation. Where I was PlayStation. I don't know, they don't care about PlayStation players or such, I'm not sure. I didn't know much about that. It's just that's what I see it with the PS4 and then switch to the Xbox and then re-bought the Resident Evil series. I also have Division, just that it's a PC, that's why and better protection than PlayStation. That problem, that's a problem. The Last of Us is good. They're releasing its PC. I don't know if they care about the PlayStation players, but like I say, I was on Xbox PC also, you know. I kind of told them PlayStation that you shouldn't release your consoles to their games to PlayStation on PC, but what happened? They did, you know. It's okay. I don't like how they say most of them. Oh, you care about your exclusive, but now PC will have it, you know. I don't care, you know. I already went ahead, you know. I already finished my part with The Last of Us, Resident Evil exclusive. Now I care a bit more about exclusive with Resident Evil Death Island, Infinite Darkness, single player, like The Last of Us, only single player. The story from The Last of Us, story only. It still will have its multiplayer, but I see what it was in the multiplayer before. That's why in The Last of Us Part 2, they released story only. In The Last of Us Part 2, it will have its director cut from The Last of Us Part 2. I'm not gonna say we'll jinx it that The Last of Us Part 2 will be over. I will not jinx it. There always will be like some character spin-off or something. With like Resident Evil. It's doing their thing. Like I say, Xbox listen and they put the consoles and Game Pass. Like I'm still a PlayStation player. Well, not too much anymore. I don't know if they follow. I said that no. I'm just went straight to Xbox for a reason. I was a PlayStation, like I said, PlayStation. Like this console, whatever, is good. It won, you know, but it didn't listen with the switching. I don't know. It's not a few players that tell them, like, hey, where's the switching games while streaming? Maybe don't care about the live streamers or something, or switching players or customers. Like, hey, what's the switch players? Well, I don't know much about that. That's why I'm on Xbox with the Game Pass or whatever temporary. I'm not sure. And it has the perhaps for putting mobile, maybe Call of Duty mobile, maybe in or cancel. Why that Call of Duty went to Xbox? I'm not sure about that, anything like that. And that's why I went to Xbox. Resident Evil is in Xbox right now. This is their game of the Dino Crisis thing, multiplayer. And Street Fighter, it's just open map war, something like that. To have players play it and face them, like that. But they're doing their own, just like they did with the mobile collaboration on their own. The anime has been doing on its own than just Resident Evil. They kind of do listen. Resident Evil right now is doing its own thing, just like Resident Evil collaboration. And it's the game added. Why it's finally allowed to put it like a Game Pass? For what reason? And like I said, if the Switch did have Resident Evil, I mean, Resident Evil probably will have a hard time streaming it on Switch, because Nintendo did brought Resident Evil 1 remake, but it's not, the studio hasn't bought them. It's independent, you know, but they're kind of the same, because they're kind of the creators, ownership from them. You know, like Ubisoft, Sega, PlayStation, and Resident Evil and other stuff, and that's it. And that part. On that part, right now, Xbox has its games and such. I'm not sure. I think they don't care about exclusive. No, they don't care about exclusive much. Just like in PlayStation, where they do care. PlayStation kind of do care that type of way. Well, not like listen 100% with their consoles, you know, protection, where's the security, better, like, security, better like switching games, like listen to the player for once, maybe for the switching stream. Don't change that then when you play a game or when they're streaming to switch games. That's why Xbox One of that part. They kind of do care, before they were focusing on like television, some type of thing. But they still do both. But I know the Xbox One, because of that, I only came for that, the protection, security, maybe like television also, and maybe movies also. Don't want to see it pop out. Then you just wait for it. It just came to a console unit, and it won. 10 out of 10. Even so, this doesn't matter what the sales. It's just an Xbox One with the listen to the players for once. Just for the security and the Game Pass and focusing on the players maybe, and even switching of games when live streaming, and doesn't stop, ending it. It just continued, dropped it pause, and just the player just updated its title, and then the next one it played like that. That's why it won. It doesn't mean that it won. It did won. It's just that the next PlayStation just focusing exclusive finally. But I'm not sure if they're focusing on Resident Evil. What, like Revelation 3 and it Resident Evil, like this how it looks, But I think not, I don't think they will bring it. I don't think they will bring Revelation 3. Revelation 3 takes long. That's okay, seeing it's independent. Then it only in Nintendo. If it's in Nintendo, you can live stream it. Yeah, and that problem is that stuff, the anime, and the like Max, they have anime, and they remove it, Crunchyroll, and such, and it's different. They have The Last of Us, but Max is similar to Sony. They allow it to bring The Last of Us. Why? Why now? They're bringing The Last of Us. They Resident Evil finally came, and it's how you make it, like you talk about it, and they finally came to TV series in one season, one time, just like in Infinite Darkness. Why decide to do that? Then have like a TV series. Yeah, the Resident Evil series, what? I got this from Resident Evil 6. I got all this edition from Resident Evil 6, Code Veronica, and Resident Evil 4. Cause I'm not sure how he would look. Leon is different. I saw the 1.5. Leon looks different. He doesn't look how the character looks, It would have been different from I see why. But they will not do that. Just talk about it.